Good evening and welcome to 5 A Day with Jay. I'm your host, J.R. Murdock. How are you doing this evening? Thank you so much for joining me. So glad that you're here. One of the things I worry about, as any artist does, doesn't matter if it's a writer, painter, every artist I know, to a degree, has confidence issues. When I'm creating something and I put it out there, is anybody going to like it? It's very easy as an artist to put something out, get praise and adulation, and then have one person come in, rip it apart. That one will override that 100 every time. It's hard to explain, but it happens. It happens. This is one of the reasons I had such a difficult time deciding to do what I'm about to do, to get all of that work out there. Was I would get negative feedback. This isn't right. This is bad. I really don't care for this. I know I've gotten some really good feedback from some really good authors that I know, who are now very well-established authors, who read some of my short stories back in the day, and they're like, wow, this is incredible. You need to get this on the market. I've gotten great feedback from some of my short stories from publishers who wanted to publish my short stories, but for whatever reason, it wasn't a fit. This is what I experienced as I was going back through a lot of my short stories that I wrote, working on the little blurbs for them. Was, wow, yeah, that's right. I would go see where I would submit it to, and I would go back, and I still have all the rejection letters and mostly rejection emails, but I still have all the rejections that I got. And I went from getting form letters to getting handwritten notes, even if it was just a handwritten note on the form letter, to getting personalized emails, to getting full, lengthy emails explaining what they loved about the story, what they would like to see fixed, and send it out again. So I know over time my writing has gotten better. I know my books have gotten better. But there's still that aching feeling of, is somebody going to like what I'm putting out there? Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. If you're watching this in the future, this date has already come and gone. Giant Robot Planetary Competition Book 2, Villain, comes out. If you read Book 1, the title will make a lot of sense. If you haven't read Book 1, let me know. I'll send it to you. Send it to you for free. Absolutely. Just drop me an email, jay@ofgnomesandwars.com. Hey Jay, I'd love to read GRPC 1. Boom. It's in the mail. GRPC, Giant Robot Planetary Competition. That's what the GRPC is. At any rate, there's always that aching, what if somebody doesn't like it? Because I have gotten those 1-star reviews, and honestly, I'm not going to wear those 1-star reviews as a badge of honor, because every author I know, every author, has 1-star reviews. Nathan Lowell has 1-star reviews on Quarter Share. Nothing happens. It's a boring story. You missed the point. If it was a boring story, you missed the point of the story. Plain and simple. Scott Sigler, multiple 1-star reviews on a lot of his works. I've got 1-star reviews. I've got 2-star reviews. Some of the reviews are valid. Some of the complaints were valid. Mainly in the editing department, which I've gone through. I've cleaned up and republished every one of my books. They're now new, freshly edited books are out there. Line edited, not content edited. If you feel you need a developmental editor, I would find somebody you trust more than a developmental editor. Yes, they can give you guidelines and help you work a story, but I'm more the mindset of I trust my writing at this point. I've written probably close to 200 short stories at this stage. A lot of them will never see the light of day. Many of them are seeing the light of day over this next year. My books, similar things. I've made mistakes in my books, and I've learned from those mistakes. That's where I felt I was going. I know I'm starting at a specific level. I'm not starting up here. I know every author who's made it to the level they're at has started down here. They didn't start all the way at the top and all of a sudden they're hugely successful. Any author you look at did not immediately rocket to the top. Many of them spent years putting work out. A lot of authors, older authors, spent a lot of time writing stories, and publishers would give them a chance to become successful. They would put out book after book knowing that it's going to take time to find an audience. It's going to take time for it to develop. It's going to take time for this author's career to grow. Starting in the, I want to say, mid-2000s, if you didn't have a hit out of the box, you were gone. J.C. Hutchins released Seventh Son. It wasn't a rocket ship. They didn't want to see the next two books in the trilogy. They were done with him. He released another book. It also wasn't a hugely popular, successful book. His career was over. He was devastated, understandably. He didn't take off like a rocket out of the box, and the publisher said, no, we expected a rocket ship. You are not a rocket ship. You're done. A lot of authors will release a book in that fashion, and if it doesn't take off to publisher expectations, they cut the cord. Gone are the days of a publisher working with an author to help them develop their readership, their fan base, and their career. That's all on the author now. This is why I'm self-publishing. I don't see a reason for me to do all of the work and then give a publisher ownership of my work and a huge chunk of the value of that work and receive a stipend or tiny amount of the profits. Self-publishing allows me to do everything I want to do, have complete creative control, and I reap the rewards. I reap the benefit. One of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight, yes, creative control is important to me. Releasing good work is important to me. But there's always that fear. There's that double-edged sword. When I release something, is it going to come back and bite me? Is somebody going to hate it? There's nothing I can do. Read the quote at the beginning of the video on the slide, or if you're listening, go to the blog and read the quote from Andy Warhol. People are going to hate art. People are very opinionated when it comes to art. You will have a handful that will love it. They can think of nothing better. You'll have a handful that will absolutely hate it. And the middle of the world people that you will likely never hear from, ever. They'll consume it, and that's it. They're done. They may or may not pick up the next one. You'll never know. That's the way art works. It's taken me a long time, a very long time, to get to this stage. It's one of those things where I wish 20 years ago I could have just put that into my head and kept on writing and just publishing absolutely everything, regardless of how good, bad, or indifferent. I would be so much further in my writing career had I done that, had I not kept stopping and starting and stopping and starting. Granted, life roles still would have happened. My father still would have passed away in 2009. My mother still would have passed away. My mother-in-law would have passed away. These things are going to happen in everybody's life. You're going to lose a grandparent, a parent. Some people, it just happens to you earlier and unexpectedly. It's rolling with the life changes is one thing. Rolling with critiques of your work and people denigrating your work, that's something completely different and completely out of your control. So is the life rolls, but not everybody appreciates every type of art. That's just a given. I need to keep rolling out art, number one, so people see that I can get a story told. And the story I'm telling right now is a lengthy one. Second, I need to regain people's trust. I've said this many times, that I can consistently get content out there and released. And finally, that I'm providing value. That the work I'm producing, people can read it, enjoy it, and go, yes, this is something I enjoyed. This was worth the price I paid. That's what I'm going for. Now, before I go, I didn't intend to go long tonight because it's later in the evening than I intended, but one of the goals I have, and I will, as I said, I'm going to be very transparent on these videos and the blogs as far as where everything is going. My first goal is to get $100 in sales. That's profit. That means Amazon took their cut, all the cuts have been taken, and that's profit. $100. That's my goal. Let's say 6 months. 6 months, I want to make $100. I think that's an accomplishable goal. With the content I'll be putting out over the next 6 months, I should not have a problem making $100. I can do this. The next goal after that will be within 6 months, so say a year from now, to be making $100 per month off of my fiction. Again, I believe this is a very achievable goal. So we've got 2 goals coming up, 6 months and a year. From May 5th, 6 months out, make $100 of my fiction. 6 months out from that, be making $100 a month from my fiction. Those are the first 2 goals we've got. Now it's a matter of getting content out there, letting people know the content is out there, and start working towards this goal. I'm one man, I'm doing as much as I can, and I'm having a blast doing it. I'm tired. My favorite daughter needed some help.